landmark of San Diego's harbor. So
Yeah, it's beautiful.
it's a
Like,
gorgeous day today too.
it's so beautiful. I love San Diego. I'm really happy I came.
Yeah,
It's wonderful.
glad you had a chance to visit.
Yeah, please visit people. This place is beautiful. It's a really, it's a dog city too. I've noticed
Oh my
that.
gosh, there's
Yeah.
dog poop bag dispensers everywhere. Like you don't even have to buy your own.
Yeah.
Just walk around. There's a little dispenser in case your dog takes a little deuce. Not a problem at all.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So let's first learn a little bit more about Paul. Paul, and how did you start in this industry? What prompted you to start a wallet? But first of all, how did you get into this incredible industry that we're in?
Gosh, how can you not get into it if you believe in autonomy, freedom, privacy, any of the ideals that I think at least you should hold like one of them to some degree. If you believe in any of them, then you're going to get just sucked into this industry of crypto. I had discovered it in 2013, so I'm class of 2013, from having subscribed to a financial blogger. And I used to work in Silicon Valley. I owned some shares, stock options, whatnot, and was slowly kind of not really trading, but occasionally selling some shares, maybe investing in a few other companies. And I ran across a stock blogger, investor, trader, and just started kind of subscribing to his weekly or bi-weekly blog. And one day he just suddenly said, "I'm putting Bitcoin on the portfolio." Roughly a couple percent in the portfolio. And he didn't say what it was. He didn't say why he was doing it. He didn't say where to even get it, because you couldn't get it on like your E-Trade. There were no EFTs, and there still are no EFTs, but nothing even close to it. There's no like a Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. And so I did my own research, discovered how empowering it can be, how disruptive it could be. And that's kind of the rest is history. I had to leave job and industry I was currently in and somehow get into this space. And so very distracting in one way, if you're kind of doing other stuff in your life, you're distracting, but also really
But
exciting.
a good distraction.
It's a good distraction,
Yeah.
a really exciting distraction. And became part of the meetup scene, especially. I really love the community of Bitcoin and crypto. Started helping organize some meetup groups and met a bunch of great people from there. And like I said, rest is history.
Yeah, and the education part of it is so important because, I'm hoping, the viewers out there, they're learning. I have a lot of viewers who are just learning as well. And
Awesome.
And don't worry, guys, there's lots of education out there, and reach out to people like in companies like this that are willing to provide that, because you do meetups here in your headquarters in San Diego.
We do. So about 1/3 of the space in our office we kind of haven't moved into yet, haven't grown into yet. And so we're actually using that as a meetup space. And it's great. It's got a little auditorium, podium stage, projector and whatnot. And we've invited, dozens of guests to come by and speak. Some are local companies and projects. Some are from around the country.
Yeah.
We've had Natalie Brunell just recently came out and spoke. We've had Isaiah Jackson from, he wrote the book Bitcoin in Black America.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Haley Lennon, a really established lawyer, formerly from Coinbase as well. I'm forgetting some of the other firms. Currently with Anderson Kill, law firm that almost exclusively, but definitely specializes in a lot of cryptocurrency cases. So had a lot of great speakers come out. Attendance has been exploding. We had over 160 RSVPs just a few days ago from the
That's
last
fantastic.
meetup.
Yeah.
And other meetup groups also come through, not just the one that I've been an organizer of. Crypto SD is a big one. They do a lot of workshops, educational content, teaching people how to use crypto, how to use DeFi. ETH SD, so an Ethereum San Diego meetup group, has also come by, and they're great on more technical workshops. They taught people how to write code to mint NFTs. So I think the community is growing, it's thriving. I'm excited to help bring that out in the community here of San Diego, and so it's been awesome and fun.
That's fantastic. Yeah, like again, education. I can't say more how important it is. I used to do a meetup in Ottawa bi-weekly, and but to have
You
over
did that bi-weekly. Oh my God.
enthusiasm and the love for
energy.
it. And even though I would sometimes have 3 people show up and it's minus 24 Celsius degrees outside on a Wednesday night, I'd still go.
Can you convert that to American temperature for us,
Right?
Amina? What's minus 24 Celsius roughly?
It's I don't know.
It's minus cold and a half. It's
really cold. It's so cold.
Yeah.
But it's just the love of it, and also having a platform, a place where someone can rely on you and be there no matter what. So
Yeah.
it was great. It really worked well for me, and I learned more, I think, from my meetup members. It was just tremendous. So, but yeah, and. So that's exciting, and so remember that, guys. Anyone from San Diego, or if you're here, there are meetups. Look up Edge Wallet. Look up their website, which is Edge.
Website's just edge.app. As far as like the meetup groups, you look for Bitcoin and Open Blockchain San Diego. It's sometimes shortened to BOB, Bitcoin and Open Blockchain. There's also Crypto SD. As well as ETH SD, which is actually looking at doing a hackathon at some point later this year.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I think the community's growing, thriving, and definitely if you have a project also in the crypto space, want a bit of exposure, let us know. We can probably get you on one of the meetup groups to speak at one of the events and present what you're working on.
Oh, wonderful. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
So getting into a little bit about the wallet, anything new that you're working on or you can talk about?
Got it. So new stuff, I think there's a few new things, but they're kind of along the same lines of what we have been doing over the past several years. Obviously, more asset support. We recently integrated Solana, AVAX, Matic, functionality called Wallet Connect, allowing people to connect to decentralized apps, DeFi apps on a browser using Edge as a mobile app to connect and hold keys and sign transactions. But probably the big thing that's a bit of a departure from what you see in Edge historically, and as well as a departure from what you see in other apps, is really, really tight integration with DeFi. So normally you have to have your wallet app, your key manager, such as a MetaMask or Wallet Connect, Edge, Trust, and then you have to go to a website where on that website you may be interfaced with a DEX like Uniswap, or you can borrow with Aave, or you could put out a leverage position on Sovereign rootstock. But now we're going to integrate that directly in Edge. There's no, have the app on your phone and then go to a website and then possibly for borrowing. So you say you're borrowing some dollars using crypto as collateral, you then have to go to another app to sell that into your bank. All that fully tightly integrated in Edge where, in a couple taps you can do things like take out a loan or a leverage position and never have to leave the app. That's kind of what's on the roadmap.
Yeah.
All the different types of DeFi we haven't really shared with the public the different protocols that we're going to be integrating, but know that close knit integration with DeFi is kind of our big focus over the next year and a half, 2 years.
Oh, that's great. So you're on the cutting edge of it all. That's fantastic. And that scope is quite large where that industry is going. So it's nice to hear that.
Yeah. It's replacing traditional finance because now it's not just holding store of value and sending and receiving. That's kind of the foundation of Bitcoin, right? Mm-hmm. Great, awesome store of value, then send and receive the funds. But if you think about our current world and how we use money, we don't just use money to be sent and received or to just hold. We also need financial instruments on top of that money. I call it like the financial stack, like tech stack, technology stack. This is a financial stack. And anything above payments, sending, receiving, and store of value haven't been well implemented such that we're able to replace the traditional finance. So while we have this decentralized money and payment, we end up using a bunch of centralized services on top of it to give us broader functionality, such as obviously trading, going to and from different assets, and then B, being able to do more advanced trading like leverage positions and whatnot, and C, more financial services like loans and yield earning accounts. That layer on top now is getting replace the traditional finance or centralized finance with more DeFi, decentralized finance.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
we're working
excited
hard.
About it. The industry is working hard. We're obviously a piece of it, but I think obviously the deployment and the creation of these protocols and DeFi functionality blew my mind when I saw it actually come about. I'm like, oh my God, we're really replacing traditional finance. And that's what I'm excited about.
We really are. And for people to start to learn and understand this, it is a game. It's a new wheel. It's a new wheel being designed. And bringing, for me to bring people like yourself on the show and to learn about, you're hearing it firsthand from people who've been in the industry for years. And 2014 is when Edge started.
Yeah, Edge started in 2014, originally called Airbits. And we were at what I'd call the bottom layer of the financial stack. It was holding your funds in a good, secure, easy way, not having to deal with the private seed, writing down seeds, which people frequently mess up, and then payments. So like that bottom layer of the financial stack, money and payments. And then with Edge, we've now kind of taken over more of the financial stack and pivoted to now offering not so much payments per se. We still support payments. You can still send and receive your funds in and out of Edge, but more focused around exchange functionality, more financial services functionality. That's where the company has shown more notable growth when we really expanded that functionality to what people are looking for today, because payments are still a bit early for Bitcoin and crypto.
Yeah, no, for sure. And so listen, folks, get in on these shows and listen and learn, because you couldn't have been in a better position and place to start learning, as the world is changing, and it really is.
It is. Yeah, we're seeing it change in some ways motivated by Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and in some ways by other aspects of our world. I think no one listening to this can say that the world hasn't gone through some major changes, especially on the political front over the past couple of years. And crypto and Bitcoin are just kind of wedged right in there, almost like a wedge, exacerbating some of those changes and pushing it in certain directions that I think are, generally speaking, favorable to mankind.
Yeah.
So cracks are appearing in the way the world kind of operates, and crypto's in there to just shove it and make sure it cracks in a way we want it to crack.
Yeah, which is, it's incredible, because to see it, the growth as it, like you just described it, we haven't really seen something the way it's happening, and it's incredible because there's so many positions and things to be created yet. So we're all able to get into this world of the digital golden age, as the way I like to call it, and there's something for us all in it, which is really what's wonderful about the whole thing.
Yeah.
And so, is there something you want to talk about specifically? Like, because, again, a lot of followers here that are new and learning, and education is what it's about at this stage, I think, with where we're going. But anything in particular let's talk about in the wallet or anything?
Probably the largest thing that you've probably heard me talk about this at various conferences, or, whenever we're just chit-chatting, and especially with Kyle, we talk about this a lot, is, that whole value of self-custody, and the importance of having self-custody of your own funds, your own money. People talk about like own your data and whatnot. There's some definite value in that, but let's start with our money. Right? Like the money is the most valuable thing. If you don't own it, chances are you've lost that data. Typically speaking, even if you don't own it, you at least will easily have access to it. Someone else could have access to it, and you have access to it. But when you don't own your money, that money can just be taken from you, and you don't have access to it either. So that's the thing about data. Data you can kind of share, and multiple people have access to it. Money, it can be taken, and then it's gone. So interesting thing about crypto, it's the first time that data equals money, meaning that this little string of data can suddenly be worth as much in value as you can afford to own. Right? Pretty much infinite amount of value you could afford to own. It could be in the string of data. So securing that, while challenging, very, very worthwhile. It's some of the focus we've had since the early days of Airbits. Let's make a system, a platform, a user experience that's familiar to people, but still gives them the autonomy, the control of their own funds to gain the benefits of what even makes crypto interesting in the first place. If you couldn't self-custody Bitcoin back in 2009, then I guarantee you that technology wouldn't have been disruptive. We wouldn't have conferences like practically every day of the year. Like pre-COVID, and now we're kind of entering post-COVID. I feel like every day of the year there is an event, a conference, definitely a meetup.
It's incredible.
Right? Like we're already talking about, are you going to this? Are you going to this? Oh, I can't because it's overlapping with this. And but that would not be happening if crypto was not a technology that allowed you to own your own digital money.
And, to add to that, it's like a slow moving train or wheel, if you will, that allows you to jump on anytime you're ready. It's nothing happening. This is already 11, 12 years, Bitcoin? 12.
Gosh, 2009. It's now almost 13.
Or 13?
Gosh,
2009,
wow. Holy smokes.
So
almost 13.
Exactly. And, we were talking about this yesterday in the crypto space when we talk about, that happened last year. It seems like a long time ago for those of us working in this space. But it is moving along fast, but slow, if you will, because there is a lot going on. There's a lot being created. When you're talking about a new wheel and a whole entire global world economy that's building on it. So don't be afraid, is what I'm saying. Like, don't be excited. Like it's a world of creation, and there's plenty of time. We're the pioneers. We're in the forefront and the foundation of something that's going to be here for a long time.
Yep. He said, don't be afraid, although it definitely can be scary to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like, unlike a lot of people said, gosh, look, social media was adopted so quickly. It came out, and before you knew it, you had millions of users. Why don't we have, more than 20% of the world on crypto at the same speed that social media was adopted? You realize one thing about social media is that you can create an account and quote unquote be on social media without losing or transferring any of your worth. Right, your net worth. It's a little bit of your time. But for a lot of people, like, they feel like they're in cryptocurrency once you've actually acquired some, which is kind of true, right? There's the learning part, and then there's the acquiring part, because really your learning accelerates. You learn, like, if you don't have any crypto, you're learning like this. And then when you own some and actually use it, then your learning kind of starts to shoot up, because then you're experiencing something. How many times have you heard, like your kids, like, you go to school and you're in the textbook, but until they apply the math to build something,
right?
It's just all theoretical.
Exactly.
Until you can touch it and feel it.
No, it's true. And it's like my meetups, we used to, back in the day, we used to exchange Doge.
Yeah.
So we'd say, just download this wallet. I'm going to send you some Dogecoin. And back then you'd send like 5 cents and they'd have like, 500 Doge or whatever it was.
Exactly.
And, but that's how they learned.
Yeah, you learn by doing.
Just by doing
Yeah,
it. So
you have to learn by doing. And so
yeah.
might feel a little intimidating, but you can start small, like especially with currencies like Doge. You don't need to sink $500 into it. You could sink $5.
Yeah, or Shibu would be one to start with.
Yeah, that would actually teach you different things. That would teach you how to send a token, which is a different process than sending a mainnet coin such as Doge. And you learn about Ethereum fees and learn that it's kind of pricey to send these tokens. So yeah, there's a lot to be learned. Part of me, you ever at times, you got in pretty early as well, right? Like, what year would you say you started kind of
to be actually investing was 2017, and learning. I mean, I did start learning originally 2000, probably 11 or 12.
Got it. So I feel, you ever feel like it's like, gosh, what would it be like to start learning today versus learning in 2011 and 2012? So I feel like
there's a lot you can learn today.
So there's a lot more content.
Yes.
So like you have more people to learn from.
That's right.
And when you have more content creators, there's a higher likelihood that one of them creates content in a way that you can absorb.
Exactly.
But at the same time, one thing I've noticed when I talk to people at the meetups is they're overwhelmed because it's a fire hose in the mouth, in the sense that they don't know where to start. There's just too much. The industry's grown so big that you kind of don't know where to even start to learn. Like, a lot of people get into NFTs outright, but they don't actually know what's the underlying tech underneath it. Why are they compelling? Why is it censorship resistant? Why can I send this thing anywhere in the world with an internet connection? And so I'll tell some people, maybe I'll even go back to like really old podcasts, back when by and large it was Bitcoin only, and learn the basis. That's like the fundamental, which is Bitcoin. That's what created a lot of other currencies. But then, of course, once you understand that, realize the world isn't just Bitcoin anymore, and expand out to, like, say, Ethereum. And once you kind of understand that and what Ethereum can do, then the other assets and chains and protocols are kind of permutations of those. So that way you're not learning all of them from scratch. You're kind of learning your foundation over foundation over foundation.
It's like math.
Yeah, you got to learn adding before you can go learn, calculus. And right now we're in, quadratic equations is what it feels like in the crypto world. But a lot of people haven't learned how to add and subtract.
That's right.
So you got to learn how to add and subtract first. What is mining? What's consensus?
Exactly.
If you want to learn a little bit more about how the ecosystem works, especially, I feel like people should learn mining. Like, just the idea.
Just to learn to understand the concept and the moving part that is so essential. You need a miner to create the actual algorithm or asset. So that's where it starts. Everybody is with the miner, so we all need each other.
Yeah, we need a little bit of that info, and that's what a lot of non-technical people question. Like, where does the money come from? And they think, why? How could it possibly have value if it comes out of thin air? And that's why I think people should understand at a not super technical level. There's some great videos by, like I said, old podcast, but Andreas Antonopoulos.
I was just going to say,
like in the old days, to teach the basics of mining.
Yeah.
And that'll help you dispel the concern of that Bitcoin comes out of nowhere, because it doesn't. Like, you actually have to put in work in order to create Bitcoin, just like you have to put in work to find gold. All right, so
Exactly.
the same work
Yeah,
has to
there
go
is
into it.
work involved in it. Truly, to put value onto anything, it's always about the human component, what we decide has value. That is added
Absolutely.
to it, and that is to anything we've ever used as a currency.
Mhm.
And we have to. I mean, how else are we going to do it?
Yeah, you can't mandate and say
Right?
something this thing has value. If I don't want it, then I don't want it.
That's
So
right.
you have to give an ecosystem around a money, and at least two people have to give it value. And once two people give it value and they exchange it, and then suddenly it's a money.
Yeah.
And it now then has a potential network effect as more people accept it. And yes, a lot of people have given Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies huge network effect.
And so start with an Edge wallet, because I think starting with a wallet is definitely a great way to start learning. But you have a very
Yeah.
key component to the learning of it all. I think
Yeah.
Paul, and what you're doing, and I just cannot. To say the Edge, I'm here talking to you and doing this interview because I love Edge, and I
Oh,
think
thank
Edge
you.
is a great wallet. It's easy to use, has a great simple interface, and it's a decentralized wallet, which is such a valuable thing in this space. So many great benefits to it. It's worth looking into, and check out their website, and have any questions, you can. I mean,
You reach out.
reach out. They're a very approachable company, which is really nice. Communication. Their team is a great team. It's really important, checking out teams and companies, and you guys have a wonderful team.
Yeah, no, we have a
Yeah.
full, nice, transparent team. We're all very available. We go to the various events, conferences. You can see us face to face
Yeah.
and know that we're real people. We're not just like anonymous developers hiding, behind a shroud and curtain. And we actually really like meeting the community. That's why we host the events here, so people can meet us in person. We can also hear about other great projects. And I think we're the first project or company or app in the industry that actually has physical in-person support. So I realize that this is only in San Diego. So if you happen to be in San Diego or live here, we offer in-person support, limited amount of time, just on Thursdays between 9:30 and 11:30 a.m. Actually downstairs at this gorgeous cafe at the bottom, first floor of our building. It's got a
Nice.
nice little outdoor patio, a little indoor section. We post up for a couple hours with a banner saying, hey, you need help with cryptocurrency? Come on by. We get a bunch of walk-ins. Sometimes people schedule a time to get help. We can help you with just understanding crypto. We can help you when you're using Edge, if you're trying to buy crypto. And Edge is a great place to start because you can actually buy your first crypto in Edge using credit card, bank transfer in many different countries in the world. I know you're from Canada. We just recently added support for Canada.
Fantastic.
Using, I think it's called EFT. I'm trying to remember the exact terminology of the different payment methods. Interact, that's what it's called.
Oh, Interact. Oh, okay. So
correct.
you don't call it Interact. Okay.
No, I just didn't know. I couldn't recall
Oh,
the name, but it is
okay.
Interact. It's
Yeah.
called Interact. So
Yeah.
So if you're in Canada, you can use it to purchase your first Bitcoin using an Interact bank transfer.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
And
That's great.
so all from within the app will get you started. And like I said, if you're here, come visit. Just let us know.
That's awesome. Yeah. So you heard that, folks. Start with Edge Wallet.
Thanks so much, Amina, for sure.
Yeah. No, thanks.
the
And thanks.
props.
So that's a wrap. Is there anything you want to add, or what do you think?
Nothing else I can think of other than, hope to see everyone. If you're not in San Diego, we are headed to a few other events. And of course, we'd love to see people there. A good portion of our team is going to be at Bitcoin 2022 in Miami.
That's
So
right.
starting, I think, April 5th or 6th.
I believe so. Next
So in a
week
couple of weeks.
sometime.
Is
Yeah.
that next week? Gosh. it's
No,
coming
the
up.
following week. 2 weeks.
2 weeks,
Yeah.
maybe a week and a half from now.
Yeah.
So come visit us there. We have got a booth, so you can swing by, chat with the team. There's going to be, almost 10 of us over there. I'll be speaking at Blockchain 2022, which is just a day after. I think it's Sunday the 10th, April 10th, also in Miami. I'll be speaking there, so definitely come visit if you're already in Miami, or if you can't make the first conference, go to the next one. And then we're also attending Consensus.
Oh,
Right,
good.
Consensus in
Okay.
Austin. That's coming up in June. A handful of our staff will be there as well. I expect I'll be there. And then we're, of course, evaluating different events. So that is also, if you're throwing some events, conferences, meetups, and you'd love us to get involved, reach out. We'll see if it fits into our schedule and budget, and hopefully make a decision, and love to meet more people.
Yeah, that's great. Well, fantastic. Well, thank you, Paul. This has been a pleasure to
Pleasure
do
as
this
well.
in person.
I know, exactly.
Yeah.
Glad you had some good reasons to swing through California and swing through San Diego and enjoy
Yeah.
the rest of your stay over here.
Thank you. I
right.
shall. Yes.
Cool. All
Okay,
right.
you take care.
Yeah, take care. Take care as well. Thanks,
Bye,
everyone.
everyone.
Okay.
Okay, so we have to figure out how to end this.
Okay, and this, if we're still live, you know that weird awkward part where you're still live and you're just kind of figuring out the end. So I think it's leave
Leave
studio. There
studio.
we
See you,
go.
folks.
See ya.